Oh, hi everybody. Hello there. Nice to see you here today. Fancy seeing you in my garden. How long have you been here for? How long have you been waiting in the garden? Not long, I hope. Yes, I am slightly later than normal. It is 2:30. Well, in fact, to be honest, it's 25 to 3. But don't tell anyone about that, please. Let us keep that a secret. Okay, here we go then. I'm slightly out of breath, but don't worry about it. Here we are live on Monday in the garden. Thank you very much for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's very strange live stream. Did you see it? I don't know what was going on, but some very strange things were happening yesterday on the live stream. A lot of noise, a lot of disruption. Also, Mr. Steve disappeared yesterday as well. We couldn't find him for ages. We didn't know where Mr. Steve had gone to. Fortunately, he did eventually arrive. But if you haven't seen yesterday's live stream, you must watch it. There were some very interesting moments, some funny moments, some not so funny moments. Lots of things going on yesterday. I hope you are feeling good today. Yes, I'm outside. We have another nice day of weather. I can't believe it. It actually feels as if summer has finally arrived. I'm feeling rather summery today. I'm wearing my summer t-shirt. I've got my summer hat. I'm wearing my summer glasses. Well, okay, maybe not. And I have my little summer bird as well. Hello, say hello. That's nice. I hope you're feeling good. It's Monday. I know a lot. That was my water. A lot of people don't like Mondays. I don't like Mondays, to be honest. Sometimes Mondays can be horrible. Sometimes Mondays can be the worst day of the week. I think so. What about you? Do you ever look forward to Monday? Or is Monday always the day when you feel ooh, I'm thirsty today. So is Monday always a day when you feel a little down? Apparently a lot of people do on Monday. They always feel a little down, maybe depressed, maybe unhappy. Perhaps something over the weekend has happened that has made you feel unhappy. Who knows? Who knows? Wow, so many people are already here on the live stream. Can I say thank you very much for joining me first of all? It's lovely to see you here again. Oh, also hello to Sunshine. I have to be honest, I think your name is very suitable for today because we have some sunshine. The sun is shining down on England. For those wondering where I am, yes, I am in England. That's where I'm talking to you from at the moment. In the garden, in my little garden in Much Wenlock, in England. Hello also Mary. Luis Mendez is here as well. Nice to see you back, Lewis. Also Vitas, Kate Gann. Hello, Kate Gann. Mr. Duncan, your green screen is looking very vibrant today. This is not a green screen. This is real. Look, watch. See? This is a real tree I'm standing next to. So this isn't green screen. This is real. I'm really here now talking to you live on YouTube. I'm here in the garden right now, and I hope you're having a good Monday. Hello also to Hiroko. Nice to see you here as well on this sunny Monday. It's sunny in the garden, and it is Monday. So that makes lots of sense when you think about it. Also, we have Dana, Grace Chin. Thank you, Grace, for gracing today's live chat. You see what I did there? Did you see what I did? So if you grace something, it means you appear. You appear somewhere. You grace the stage. You grace the party. You grace everyone with your presence. Very nice. We also have, oh, hello Lolly Lolly, a big bonjour to France. You might see the sun coming through the tree. I'm standing underneath my lovely old apple tree today. So that's where I am at the moment, in the garden by the apple tree, getting a little bit of shade from the sun. However, you might notice the sunlight is coming through and shining on me as well. I hope the sun is shining on you, wherever you are in the world. Hello, also Moss here. Also Zor. Hello, Zor. Zor Ismailov. Nice to see you here as well. You might notice we have a lot of cloud today as well. So the cloud is slowly going over. We have a gentle breeze. It doesn't feel too cold. However, it's still not... It doesn't feel like summer. It doesn't feel like summer. I have to be honest with you. Hello, Osman, Mr. Duncan. It's been ages since I last joined you. It's been ages. When we say it's been ages, it's been a long time. It's been ages since I joined you on the live chat. Well, you are here now, and that is all that matters. Hello, Osman Mohammed. Nice to see you today as well. Guadeloupe. Hello, Guadeloupe. Nice to see you on the live chat also. Very good. Tuan Nguyen Sun says, hello, Duncan. Hello. Nice to see you here. I hope you're having a good day. Did you have a good weekend? How was the weekend? Come on, tell me about your weekend. I want to know what happened. How are things in your country? Are things returning to normal? Are you now having normal life where you are? Here in the UK, well, it really depends on where you live in the UK, because some people who live in Scotland, for example, in Scotland, they have different rules for the lockdown. In Wales, they also have their own rules. And here in England, we have our rules. And it looks as if everything is going to be relaxed over the next couple of weeks. Will it change anything, though? I'm not sure at the moment. It's too early to say what is going to happen next. I've noticed one thing on television. A lot of people are now advertising holidays. Many holiday companies already have put their adverts, their advertisements on television, trying to get us all to book our holidays again. Hello, also Angel Girl. Hello, welcome back, Angel Girl. Now, if I remember rightly, if I'm correct, I think you joined us last week for the first time. So I'm very pleased to see that you've returned for more of this, whatever this is. Hello also to Paolo. Mr. Duncan, you are amazing. Thank you very much for your videos. You are welcome. Thank you. It's very kind of you. Manas says, Mr. Steve stole the show yesterday. I think you're right. First of all, he didn't appear. I was waiting for nearly 7 minutes for Mr. Steve to appear yesterday, and he didn't. And then when he arrived, he had some cockamamie excuse. Cockamamie. That's a word I showed you last week. The word cockamamie means ridiculous, absurd, something that can't be believed, a cockamamie story. But Mr. Steve was here. We were in a very strange mood yesterday. I was in a strange mood. We said some things that we probably shouldn't have said. Mr. Steve got very carried away with himself, as he normally does. How do you know Mr. Steve? Is he your college friend? Says Shard. I've known Mr. Steve for many years. Nearly 31 years I've known Mr. Steve. So we've known each other since the 1980s. I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. We don't remember the 1980s because we're very young. Oh, good for you. Well, I do. I remember the 1980s. And yes, that's how long I've known Steve, for many years. And yes, Mr. Steve normally joins on Sunday. Not today. We won't see Steve today because unfortunately he's in his office working busily on his computer, doing all sorts of things. So no, sadly, no Mr. Steve today. I'm very sorry about that. Oh, hello, Flower Espoir. By the way, this is free and easy today. We are doing some extra live streams during July to celebrate my 4 years of doing live streams. So that's why I'm here today. Normally, I'm not here on Monday, but today I am doing something a little different. Hello, Philippe. We are in quarantine here in Brazil. I have heard some of the news, some of the not so good news from Brazil. Some countries are still having problems. Certain parts of England at the moment are having problems as well. So everything is not over yet. As I said last week, we are not out of the woods yet. When you say you are not out of the woods, it means you are not out of danger. There are still many things that we have to sort out. We have to solve many problems before we can say that everything is normal. I think it's going to be a very long time before everything gets back to normal, to be honest with you. What is that behind you? Asks Andy. Hello, Andy Antau. Andy, that is, behind me, that is a heron. It's called a heron. So the little bird behind me in the distance, hello, a bird just flew over my head then. Hello, yes, it's okay, don't worry, I won't hurt you. I'm only a YouTuber talking about English, don't worry. So yes, that is a heron behind me, the bird in the corner. It's not real. This is not a real heron. It is a plastic heron. But some people like to put them in their garden as decoration. Some people put them in the garden because they want to scare other birds away. Hello, Alessandra. Once more, there is an annoying noise. Yes, but fortunately today it's very far away, so it's not so bad today, fortunately. Hello, Mr. Duncan, how are you? I can see a bird at the back of the garden. Is this a garden or a mini park? No, this is the garden. This is where I live, and I couldn't resist coming outside to spend some time with you under the apple tree. I don't know what's happened this year, but there are lots and lots of apples on the apple tree. A couple of years ago, Steve wanted to chop this tree down. Can you believe it? He says, no, this tree has to go. And I said, no, you can't chop down the apple tree. It's a lovely tree. It's an old tree. It's been around for many years. And this year, it has actually produced many apples. So I feel very happy that I protested. I feel very happy that I tried to save this apple tree's life, and I succeeded. And the apple tree is now producing fruit again. So I think I deserve some sort of award for that, to be honest. I do. I think I deserve some sort of award for saving this apple tree's life. Maybe Greta Thunberg can come round and have the afternoon with me. We can have a cup of tea together and talk about the grass. Maybe Greta can have a look at Mr. Steve's new grass. She will say, your grass is very nice. And I will say, yes, Mr. Steve planted that grass himself. He did it all by himself. So I think Mr. Steve deserves an award also. Hello, Sharif DJ. Your garden is nice. It is nice today. It's lovely outside, even though I am suffering very slightly with hay fever. So I still have hay fever. However, we are now coming towards the end of the hay fever season for me. So normally, as we approach the end of July, normally my hay fever eases off slowly. It gets better and better. Oh, we have. Hello, Mosen. Hello also to Beatrice. What does cajole mean? If you cajole someone, you might encourage them. Maybe you say positive words to lift their spirits. You cajole. You try to lift a person's spirits. Many people said yesterday your live stream really cajoled all of us. We felt very uplifted. If you haven't seen yesterday's live stream, what I suggest is you make a cup of tea, you get very comfortable, and maybe you put your tablet device in front of you or your computer monitor, or even better, you can watch my live streams on the television as well if you have YouTube built into your TV. So watch yesterday's live stream. It was a very unusual day in the garden for many reasons. That's all I can say. Yes, I had a good night's sleep last night. I had a lovely night's sleep. Very comfortable, very relaxed, even though I didn't go to bed till very late last night. I went to bed about 1 o'clock in the morning, but this morning I felt great. I opened the curtains, the birds were singing, there was blue sky above the house, and everything was quite nice, to be honest. So I feel quite good today. Better than yesterday. Can you please do some videos about IELTS? Thank you, Simona. I have actually talked about the IELTS test in one of my video lessons. I've done a video lesson all about IELTS and the different types of tests. I even talked about it on my first ever live stream 4 years ago, which you can watch on my English channel. Mr. Duncan in England is who I am. Some people say English addict. So you can always look for Mr. Duncan or English addict, and then you will find all of my videos. Of course, you can also give me a lovely thumbs up and subscribe as well. There are many ways of keeping in touch. Omar Marchiavello. Hello, Omar Marchiavello. Nice to see you here. What's the weather like? Is it great there? The weather here is all right, actually. I can't complain today. There are some things I could complain about, but today I'm not going to. I'm going to keep my mind clear. Tran Nguyen says, your apple tree, the apple tree, reminds me of Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, who famously discovered apples. Did you know that? He was sitting on the grass under a tree and an apple fell on his head and he said, oh, what's this? What's this? It's amazing. I will call this an apple. And that's it. Sir Isaac Newton discovered the apple. What? No? What do you mean no? That's what happened, yes. What do you mean it was Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs discovered Apple. I don't know what you're on about. That makes no sense. No, I think mine's better. My story is much better than that one. Much better. While he is studying, he suddenly saw an apple fall down. Yes, that's the story. Sir Isaac Newton. Is there a statue anywhere of Sir Isaac Newton? I hope so. Hello, what is the difference between up to and up in? Well, if you are up to something, up to, it can be something that you are doing. You are up to something. So that is a phrase we often use when a person is doing something in secret. So they are doing something. They are up to something. However, we can also say that you have reached a point or a certain point. You are up to that point. The water is up to my shoulders. The water is up to my neck. The water is... You see? Up to. Up in, well, up in refers to the location or position of something. You are up in. You are up in the tree. You are up above. Yeah. Steve Jobs liked apples very much. Yes, I think so. Poor Steve Jobs, I know. A very tragic life. He did so much in his short life. And of course, a lot of people now have his inventions in their house. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe a dozen of his inventions. I've got one here, to be honest. I've got one of Mr. Steve Jobs' apples right here. Hello to... Oh, Lena is here. Hello to you as well. Hello to Valentina. Nice to see you as well. Very, very nice to see so many people here today. I am in the garden, and this is not one of my normal English lessons. I will be back on Wednesday with English Addict. Number 100. 100. Yes, I'm not joking. On Wednesday, it will be English Addict episode 100. You see? Anyway. I visited my father and had lunch together today. Thank you, Mika, for letting me know. I hope you had a nice day with your father. You are very lucky to still be in touch with your family. Not everyone is lucky, you see. Not everyone has their family members around them for many reasons. Perhaps they have passed away, or you may have lost touch. You may have become estranged. Oh, I like that word. Estranged. If you become estranged, it means you become, well, strangers or distant. So maybe you are estranged from your family members. Perhaps you don't see one of your parents at all. So if you still see your parents, if you are still in touch with them, you are lucky. Not everyone has that. Not everyone has that luxury, unfortunately. Hello to... Oh, that's very nice. Jatin. Can you please talk about prepositions? Once again, I did a lesson all about prepositions. When we talk about prepositions, we are talking about the position of things, or one thing in relation to another, on top, underneath, near, alongside. Down. You go down the road. You go up the road. We are talking about position, sometimes direction, or the relationship between two objects. Hello also, Christina again, and oh, very nice. Quite a few people now joining in. Mr. Duncan, I was listening to the sticky lesson, and it has been the best you did. Very good job, Mr. Duncan. Thank you, Francesca. Yes, I was in the garden last week doing a live stream, and very similar to this. I was talking about lots of different subjects, and I have received some very interesting responses to that particular lesson, because I talked about many different subjects in the garden. I talked about many different subjects, some of them things that I don't normally talk about. So yes, last week I think it was an interesting lesson as well, because I wasn't really teaching English. I was just talking about many different subjects, which I thought was interesting. Hello. Oh, Marilda is here. Abdul Halim, hello to you as well. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Do you live in the countryside? What are the trees and fruit and vegetables that grow there? Thank you, Abdul. Well, right next to me, I have my little apple tree. Just behind me, there is a cherry blossom tree. So in the distance, there is a red tree. You can see all of the red leaves. That is an cherry blossom tree. And over there is a conifer, a type of tree. It grows in a particular shape. Also, this particular tree is evergreen. So this tree never sheds its leaves. It never loses its foliage. Always, it is there. Do you know all about Sir Isaac Newton? Well, I've already talked about him. He discovered the apple. And also something called gravity as well. Hello, Francesca. Hello. Your lessons are always interesting. I'm not sure if they are. Sometimes I think my lessons are not interesting. I worry all the time. I do. Sometimes I lie awake in bed, worrying, thinking, I think one day everyone will just go away and leave me, and I'll be talking to myself in the garden. The place looks very pretty. Where is it? Orbelin. Hello, Orbelin. Orbelin de los Santos. Nice to see you here today. I'm in England. This is England on a Monday afternoon. It is now just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday. So that's what I'm doing at the moment in the garden, talking to you live from England. It's true, definitely. The place I live is Much Wenlock, a small town in the countryside. So there aren't many houses around here where I live, because this is a rural community. It is in the countryside. And yes, there are many farms around here that grow wheat, also rapeseed as well. There are many farms around here now that grow I believe it's called agrofuel, or types of seed that can be used in many different ways, in food and also for fuel as well. Biofuel is what they often call it. Hello to Sandra. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I am seeing the lesson English in October from 2019, and I'm learning day to day. Thank you very much. Sandra Gonzalez. Sandra, did you send a donation? Are you the Sandra Gonzalez who sent a donation 2 days ago? Is it you? If it is, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Mr. Duncan, did you watch 12 Monkeys yesterday? Naliha, can I tell you something? We didn't watch 12 Monkeys last night. We didn't watch it. We are planning to watch it sometime this week, but we didn't have time yesterday because Mr. Steve was talking to his mother on the phone, and then by the time he came downstairs and we sat down, it was getting late. So instead we watched some funny TV comedies on television instead. We watched Family Guy. I like Family Guy. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's very rude. Mr. Duncan, could you please do some videos about technical English? Technical English. Do you mean certain subjects or certain fields? For example, I'm often asked about business English. So business English, uses certain types of English words and grammar, but mostly English words. Mostly English words. Technical English, medical English is another interesting subject. Medical English. If we are talking about medical issues, or if you want to be a doctor or a nurse, you have to learn medical English. Mr. Duncan, you are looking sick. Are you okay? Am I okay? Of course I'm okay. Everyone keeps saying that I look sick. I don't know why. I feel perfectly all right. I feel so fit at the moment. I can't begin to tell you. I am very fit and healthy at the moment. I'm getting lots of exercise. I'm eating very well. Thank you very much. I'm getting plenty of sleep. I feel great. The only problem recently has been a hay fever. Hay fever. But that doesn't really affect your health. So I'm healthy and I feel great. So I'm okay. I don't know why everyone thinks I'm ill. Maybe it's the light in the garden, perhaps. But I am all right, definitely. Have you ever thought of growing vegetables in your garden, for example, potatoes, tomatoes, and other things? We have thought about it. But in this garden, I think I mentioned this before, unfortunately the soil in this garden is not very good for growing vegetables. It is very hard, it is like clay, actually. So all of the soil under here is like clay. It's quite hard ground. So no, we don't grow vegetables. We've thought about it. But to be honest with you, if I was really honest with you, I think it might be too much hard work. And to be honest, Mr. Steve works very hard in the garden already. I don't really want to give him any more work to do. Valentina, engaging, interesting, because they involve students in learning. Engaging. I like that word. I think engaging, if you engage someone, it means you are getting their attention. And these days, I'm sure you've noticed this as well, these days it's very hard to encourage people to stay watching because we are so impatient. We like to flick and click all over the internet, so we never like to stay in one place for too long. Mr. Duncan, please, you should look for the reason of the hay fever. You have to have a blood test. I've had hay fever since I was a child. So this has been with me all my life. So I always suffered from hay fever and allergies from certain types of pollen in the air. So it isn't anything that will affect my health, but it is something that I am sensitive to, which is a different thing altogether. So hay fever does not damage your health, but it just means that your body is extra sensitive. As you know, sometimes I am a very sensitive person. I was very sensitive yesterday. If you were watching yesterday's live stream, you will know what I mean. Hello, Mr. Duncan. If a person can understand your speech, what about his level of English? Taras, Plitus or Plitus. Interesting question. There are many ways of using my lessons. You can listen. You can also have captions as well, even now. So as you are watching this right now, you can have captions. All you have to do is press C on your keyboard. Or you can go up into the corner as well. You go up into the corner of the screen. I think it's up there. There are some settings on your mobile device. But yes, you can have captions live right now. All you have to do is press C on your keyboard, like that. Or you can go up to the top there to your settings, activate captions. It's amazing. So there are many ways of using these lessons. Some people worry too much about their level of English. I always say, and this is what I say quite often, sometimes students feel that their level of English is worse than it is. Sometimes you need just to build your confidence. Maybe your English level is already very good, but perhaps you feel as if it isn't. So sometimes it isn't about learning English. Sometimes it is about learning confidence, learning to be confident when you are doing things. Madhava. Hello, Madhava. Madhava Siva Rama Krishna Ganta. I tried to say your name then. I hope I got it right. Do you have any children? I do not. I have no offspring. I have no ankle biters. I have no nippers. Nippers. We sometimes use the word nipper when we talk about children. We say, when I was a nipper, I used to ride my bicycle everywhere. Nipper. It is often used in northern England. So in the north of England, you will often hear the word nipper used, and it means child. When I was a nipper, I used to run all the way to the sweet shop, and I would buy the biggest lollipop I could find in the shop. I did. If anyone sees my comment, please let me know. Osman, I see your comment. I can see it. Do I get a prize? Mr. Duncan, can you say murder? Murder. Hello, Jade. Murder. 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 Hello also to... Oh, that's nice. I've got some food here. Maliha, thank you for your food that you've put on the live chat. I wish it was real food, to be honest. I really do. Yes, I've seen your comments, and they are very, very clear. They are very clear here on the comment section. They are, so don't worry. So your level of English, if you can understand what I'm saying, maybe your listening level is good. But that doesn't mean that you will be able to speak English. So I always say that learning English is not just about one thing. So my lessons allow you to listen. If you have the captions, you can read, and also you can watch what I'm doing as I'm speaking. And one of the best things is this is live. So this is not recorded. This is actually happening right now as you're looking at the screen, which I always think is very exciting, to be honest. Mohsen says, I want to become a host, the same as you, but how? When you say host, the word host can be used in many ways. Perhaps if you are having guests come to your house, maybe for a dinner or a lunch or a party, you will be the host. So the person who is organising it is the host of the garden. Of the garden? Of the party. The word garden was here, by the way. I read the word in my brain. So yes, a host is the person. It is the noun, the person. It describes the person who is organising the party. They are the host, or of course, hostess, if it is a lady. And you can host something as a verb. You host something. You are doing it. You are maybe putting on a performance or a show, or maybe you are presenting a TV program, or perhaps you are presenting something on the internet like this. Oh, yes, you see? Yes. Hello? I can hear a noise in your transmission, says Richard. There are some sounds around me. There might be some people chopping down their trees, or maybe doing some maintenance in their garden, perhaps. Is this live stream chat about our questions, Mr. Duncan? Rafida. Hello, Rafida. Well, you can talk about things. I talk about different subjects. So this is extra, you see. So this is an extra live stream. My normal live streams are on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this is extra. It's extra, you see. Twan Nguyen, what an interesting live stream. It makes me feel very funny. Okay then. If it makes you feel funny, then I'm pleased, I think. I suppose it depends what type of funny you mean. Naveen. Hello, Naveen. I've been following Mr. Duncan since 2015. Naveen. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you very much for staying with me for 5 years. Wow. I was quite interested last week because I celebrated my anniversary last week. 4 years doing live streams. And it's amazing how many people are still watching from the first live streams that I did way back in 2016. It's incredible. So yes, I do like that. I do like the fact that there are many people who are watching and have been watching for many years. Thank you very much. I'm standing under the tree. Yes, the sun is out. It is very bright. You can see behind me the sun is shining on the field behind me. Yes. Yesterday was funny, says Jade. It was a very unusual live stream, I will be honest. We were supposed to do many things yesterday. I had many things planned. Unfortunately, I couldn't do all of them. There is a very happy bird behind me. A very happy bird. Spill the beans. If you spill the beans, it means you reveal a secret or maybe something that you have been keeping to yourself. You spill the beans. You reveal some information. Maybe you let out a secret. You spill the beans. All is revealed. The secret is no longer a secret. You spill the beans. Mr. Duncan, I want to add more questions. If I understand all your live lessons, am I in a high level of learning English? Well, I would say if you can understand. So if I'm standing here now talking to you and you can understand what I'm saying, then I would say your level of listening is good because you are understanding what is being said. Also, maybe the way in which you are processing English up here in your brain as well. So learning English is not just about speaking the language. It's about understanding words. It's about being able to listen. It's about being able to process all of those things in your head. And you have to do it very quickly as well. Helena. Oh, Helena. Helena, I sympathise with you. Helena at the moment is doing lots of ironing. As you know, I do not like ironing. I never iron my clothes. I never iron my clothes. As you can see. You see? I didn't iron this, yet it looks nice. It looks okay. So all I do is I put my clothes in the washing machine, I wash them, and then I hang them somewhere to dry. And they always come out looking like this. You see? Quite nice. So I'm not a big fan of ironing, to be honest. Eleanor. Hello, Eleanor. Mr. Duncan, when I'm listening to you, I understand almost everything, but why, when I'm listening to other English-speaking people in the news, for example, I can't understand clearly? Everyone speaks in a different way. So because I'm a teacher, because I talk about the English language, then I have to allow you to understand what I'm saying. But also it is a good reference for listening to other people. It is a reference for listening to other people. Can I just do something? Because something has just fallen over in the garden. I have to go and do something. I put some of Mr. Steve's clothes out in the garden, and unfortunately the thing has blown over. I'm back. Something fell over. I decided to hang some of Mr. Steve's washing outside. But unfortunately, the thing that I put the washing on has fallen over in the wind. Oh, I see. Yes, Elizabeth. Do you believe that a person whose English is not their first language can ever master listening, speaking and reading? Yes, because I've seen it for myself. I've taught many people who have gone on to have very good lives, successful lives, from not knowing how to speak English or having just a small amount of English words in their head to actually being successful to the point where they travel to another country, get a job abroad, and then have a very successful life. So yes, it can happen. As I always say, it's up to you. It's up to you. Learning things is something that you take on. So even though the teacher might do a very good job, but you have to also do a very good job of learning, which means spending a lot of time doing it. So most of the students that I used to teach when I was in China, for example, there are many students who I taught who now live in other countries and have very good jobs. There is one student I used to teach, and he now lives in the United States, working and having a good life. So it is possible. And it was English, it was learning English that allowed him to do that. So yes, of course, you can learn English as well as you want. Unfortunately, it means you have to put a lot of time and effort into it. So never believe that it will come easily, because it doesn't. If you want to do something, sometimes you have to put in a little bit of extra work or a little bit of extra time, extra effort. I listen to English lessons about 6 hours every day. That is a very, very good thing. Yes. So in fact, you are doing the right thing. Listening 6 hours a day. That's brilliant. That's amazing. That's fantastic. So what you are showing there is you are, first of all, serious about doing it, and also you are showing devotion as well. So you really show that you want to do it. You want to succeed. So 6 hours every day is pretty amazing, to be honest. So well done. Well done. Luis Mendez. Hello, Luis again. Mr. Duncan, why do I understand the BBC presenters and Radio 4, but I have difficulty understanding American presenters? That's a good question. BBC English quite often is clear because that is their job, you see. Once again, it's very similar to teaching. If you teach a language, then you have to make sure that you can be understood. If you are talking on the radio and if you are giving important information, you have to make sure that people can understand what you're saying. So that might be one of the reasons. However, there are some other differences as well when we talk about accents. So you might find that a certain type of accent is different from another. Many people say that British English is easier to listen to. Some people say that American English is hard to listen to because maybe the accent is very strong, or maybe the person speaking is actually talking very fast. So there are many reasons. There is never just one reason for these things. Maybe the person speaking is speaking very quickly. Maybe their accent is very strong. Maybe you are unfamiliar with that accent. Mary says, I have some problems understanding Americans as well. Yes, it can be a problem. What you have to do is get used to it. And that's why I often say watching or listening to different types of English can help you a lot. So you can listen to me, of course. You can watch my videos, certainly. But there are other people as well who will give you practice with listening to accents, different accents. Is listening enough to learn without talking? You need all of them, really. So if you are planning to learn English, you will find quite often that you in the future you want to speak English as well. Is listening enough to learn without talking? You need to do both, because if you learn English without speaking, then I think you're taking away many of the opportunities that English can give you. You might even be wasting your time as well. However, listening, as far as I'm concerned, listening is a very important part of learning English. I always say listening is one of the things you have to do very often. You have to make English part of your life. Listen, read, write. It's all about building confidence, to be honest. That's the big secret. The big secret is actually confidence. Telling yourself, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I really can. I can do it. Kem Dogan says, I know many academic words, but I face difficulties to put them together in sentences. What should I do? Well, again, if you are using technical words, you have to understand what they mean. But again, it depends on what it is you are trying to express. So there are certain areas where people might do a particular job or have a certain knowledge that they have to use in their job. So you know those words, but you must also learn how to use them in sentences. I think actually we are talking about grammar, really. That refers to grammar. So learning basic English, having a basic understanding of English, should help you to use technical words. It should. Because if you are doing a job that means you have to understand those words, then you have to understand them anyway. You have to know what they mean and how to use them. Lewis and, oh, hello, Nabil or Nabil. How can I master phrasal verbs? Once again, when we say master, you actually learn about them. There are many resources, many textbooks, many video lessons on YouTube that talk all about phrasal verbs. They are things that are used sometimes, but not always. So try not to concentrate too much on one part of English. Don't worry too much about phrasal verbs. There are many phrasal verbs, but we don't use them all the time, to be honest. We don't use them all the time. What can we listen to apart from your videos? Please suggest some ideas. Well, you can listen to anything, watch anything, anything that has a picture and sound, and if it's in English, use it. There is no such thing as bad material. So maybe your favourite movie, if you have a movie that you enjoy watching, you can listen to the people talking, you can read the captions, you can take the captions away and just listen. So any material, to be honest. I have a feeling you want me to name other YouTube teachers. Well, they're out there. They're not very hard to find. All you have to do is listen to English or English teachers on YouTube, and there are thousands of them. Thousands and thousands. John Freddy says, I think Mr. Duncan speaks very slowly in order for us to understand him easier. Well, this is pretty much my normal speed, to be honest. So this is how I talk normally. I don't talk quickly. I talk at a steady pace, just like a person who works on television or on the radio. So a person who speaks clearly isn't doing it because they want you to understand. They do it because that's how they speak. That's why I was always very popular. When I went abroad to work, lots of people wanted to use my voice because they said it's so clear. Your voice is very clear. It's very easy to understand. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it on purpose. This is just how I speak. I can't change this, unfortunately. I don't really have an accent. Well, not a strong accent. But I do have an accent, you see. I do have an English accent. I hope that helps. Oh, Collod. Hello, Collod. What happened to your eyebrows? Can I tell you a story? And this is something I wanted to say last week and I forgot all about it. Oh. There's things falling from the tree. Ugh. I hope that wasn't bird poo. I hope so. Hello. Yes, I know. The birds are saying hello. Last week I had a little accident and it concerns my eyebrows. Can you see? So there is something different with this eyebrow. Can you see my eyebrow? Now we have something in the bathroom that we use for trimming our eyebrows and our hair. Sometimes I use that machine to trim my eyebrows. I think you can already guess what happened. I think you already know what happened. Anyway, I will tell you the story anyway. I went into the bathroom. I was in a hurry. I grabbed the machine and I started to cut my eyebrows, to trim, because they were getting long. Unfortunately, there is a special adapter a little thing that you have to put on to the machine so you can cut your eyebrows without removing them completely. Unfortunately, I picked up the machine and I started to cut my eyebrows without checking the machine. And the little thing that you are supposed to put on wasn't there. And so I actually cut off half of my eyebrow. I actually shaved off half of my eyebrow. It disappeared completely. So now you know. Now you know. I cut half of my eyebrow off. I'm not sure if you can see it now. I think it's starting to grow back. But yes, that's what happened. I shaved off half of my eyebrow by accident. I didn't mean to do it. It was not intentional. I didn't intend to shave my eyebrow right off. But that's what happened. Imagine if I shaved the whole eyebrow off. Imagine that. I would have to do the other one as well, you see, so they would match. And then I would have no eyebrows for about a month. So that's what happened. I accidentally cut half of my eyebrow off. Because I was in a hurry, you see? I was in a hurry. Oh, a very funny incident. Thank you, Tan Mei. It could have been much worse. Imagine if I didn't stop. Imagine if I just went zip, and then my whole eyebrow would be gone. What would I do? I would only have one eyebrow. Oh, Racer says now you can paint your eyebrows every day and you can show a different emotion. Ah, that's one of the things that's always fascinated me about women. Yes, it's true. I am fascinated by women. I think women have some very interesting habits, some ways of doing things. You can learn a lot, I think, especially when it comes to taking care of your body and taking care of yourself. I think women quite often are very health conscious, maybe more than men. Perhaps. But yes, I've noticed quite often women will often remove their eyebrows completely. But then they will paint them back on. So they remove their eyebrows, they get rid of them completely, and then they paint their eyebrows back on. They will. So maybe that I could do that. Maybe I could remove my eyebrows completely, and then I could paint some new eyebrows onto my face. Yes, I think that's a good one. I like that one. There are many words and phrases that are used only when you are interacting with people. So I think it is very difficult to learn at home. That is one of the reasons why I do this. I understand that there are people all over the world learning English on their own. And this is something that I had experience with directly, you see. I met many people on my travels who are trying to learn English by themselves because they can't go to a training centre. Maybe they can't afford to pay for a private teacher. So that's one of the reasons why I've been doing this on YouTube for almost 14 years, making video lessons. So that's the reason why. You can learn English on your own, but you need to have lots of different methods of doing it. So this is one of the methods. This is one of the ways. If you are learning English by yourself, you can watch my live streams. You can listen to my English because this is all spontaneous. None of this is planned. None of this is rehearsed. Everything you see and hear is spontaneous. So it's a very good way of getting used to listening to English in everyday situations. I think so. Hello, David. Mr. Duncan, what do you know about internship? Maybe you could tell me a little bit about that. What is the internship? Well, an intern is normally a person who works in a company. Maybe they are taken on to get experience. So quite often they will become part of a company. However, they won't be treated as an employee. So they are there to learn. They are there to get experience. But quite often they will do it with no pay at all, because it's training. So an intern is a person who joins a company. Quite often you might find many big companies, lots of big companies around the world. I suppose when you think of computer companies, maybe internet companies, they will often have interns, a person who will come, they join, and they experience the job for a certain period of time. Wilson, hello Wilson, thanks to your amazing videos I can speak English, and I have been to many countries, even the UK, Morocco, the US, Malta, just with Mr. Duncan's English. Thank you, Wilson. That's very kind of you to say. So you are actually enforcing or reinforcing what I said earlier. There is no barrier. There is nothing in the way. If you want to do something, if you want to learn a new language, for example, English, you can do it. There is nothing stopping you. It isn't about having money or a wealthy family. When I worked in China, I met many people whose parents or families were very poor, and they lived in very poor situations. And in fact, the school I worked in primarily taught people from the rural communities that had little money. So they paid for their children to come to the school in which I worked, but many didn't have much money. So what they were looking for English. They were looking for English lessons to improve their outlook for the future. And as I said before, it did happen. There are people now who I taught many years ago working in many different parts of the world. Australia, New Zealand, the United States, even the UK. So it is true. Irene, is it your husband's birthday today, Irene? Can I say happy birthday to your husband? Isn't that great? Happy birthday to Irene's husband. I hope you have a wonderful day. I really do. Hello also Abid. Is it good to read newspapers loudly for improving my speaking? And is it better to speak in front of a mirror at home? Abid? Yes. Both of those things. I will give both of those things a big thumbs up. You are right. Yes. Reading from the newspaper, reading out loud. So when you read something, but you also say what you're reading, we say that you read out loud. Out loud. Reading from the newspaper. Also, get used to looking at yourself in the mirror. It might sound strange. It might sound like a strange thing to say. But learning in front of a mirror, get used to the feeling of speaking English. Get used to the action. Get used to hearing your voice. Record your voice on your mobile phone. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I'm talking about English today, and I'm learning the English language. Listen. Listen to how you sound. Look in the mirror as you speak. Watch your mouth. Watch how you form the words. The cows are going by. Can you see the cows behind me? Hello. The cows are going by behind me. Hello. The cows are going by, but they don't seem very interested. They're not interested today. They don't want to say hello to me, unfortunately. Madava says, I can't catch every word from Gordon Ramsay and Jamie Oliver, even if they are British. Well, they do have strong accents. For example, Jamie Oliver, his accent is, I would say it is London, South East. Yes. So I would say that Jamie Oliver has quite an accent. He does have an accent. I would say it's London area. I believe that's where he was raised. Hello. The cows are playing in the field. Gordon Ramsay has a more controlled accent, so I'm surprised actually. Gordon Ramsay's accent is a little bit more standard, easier to understand, unless of course he's shouting. He's normally shouting at someone. You idiot! You've overcooked those vegetables. So yes, sometimes. Behind, yes, there is a bird behind. It is a heron. Heron is the name of that bird. It isn't real. It is made of plastic. But yes, there is a little bird behind me. It is there for decoration in the garden. Some people use these to scare away other birds. But this one doesn't scare away any birds. All of the birds don't care about this. They just ignore it. Mr. Duncan, you are right. Recording my voice, it has been the best way to advance, and I've started slowly. And I've seen my faults. That is a good thing to do. I suppose when you learn to do something, you always make mistakes. And that's how you learn. So every time you learn something new, there will be some mistakes that come with it. So you can't just learn something new without making mistakes. Whatever it is. For example, if you are learning to drive a car, you can't just drive the car straight away. It takes a while to get used to it, to feel comfortable and confident whilst driving the car, you see? Listening to the radio is useful. Yes. Yes, listen to as much English as you can. Fill your life with the sound of English. That's my suggestion. That's what I suggest. When should we stop relying on subtitles? Asks Racer. Can I just say, subtitles are always useful. Even sometimes for us. English subtitles can even be useful for us. So if we're watching something and maybe the place where the person is talking might be very loud or noisy, or maybe there's a lot of music playing, even I sometimes use captions, English captions. So they can be useful at any time. But if you are learning English, I would always say that captions are a thing that you can use sometimes, but don't use them too often. Don't use them all the time. So perhaps you can listen to something or read the subtitles as you are watching a video, and then later you can watch the video again without the captions. And then over time you will find that you can understand what is being said more and more. So again, it is a slow process. It takes time to do it. You can't rush these things. You can't rush learning. It all takes time. Serena makes a very good suggestion. Yes, singing can be a very good way of improving your English. It is a good way, and also it's fun as well. If you sing a song out loud, you can sometimes learn some new words, and you can have some fun at the same time. I think so. So yes, you are right. I think learning English, you have to try and do many different things. Read, write, writing. This is something I've mentioned before, but writing is a very good way of learning grammar. Because when you write something down, you are using your brain in a very different way. As you write, your brain is actually working on more than one level. And it is a very good way of getting things to stay in your brain. What is your favourite football team? My favourite football team, well, I don't follow football, to be honest. I don't follow it. I know a lot of people do follow football, and many people are very pleased because in many countries, including here in the UK, the football has started again. It has restarted after lockdown. Dear. Talking with yourself and thinking in English, it helps. Yes, it does. It really does. Talking to yourself, listening to your voice, recording your voice, watching yourself in the mirror as you speak. All of these things can help. I used to always make a joke with my students. I would say, try to dream in English. If you can dream in English, that is a very good sign. Maybe you can dream at night that you speak English. You see? Nothing is impossible. Nothing. You can do it. Ivan is here. Hello, Ivan. Welcome back. If you remember Ivan is the helicopter technician. He takes care of the helicopters to make sure that they take off and fly and land safely. Alperen, my mum had an operation a week ago that was very serious. Can you say hello to my mum, whose name is Belgin Sultan? She is getting better. Hallelujah, Mr. Duncan. That is good news. So I'm glad to hear your mum is getting better. Hello to Belgin Sultan. Hello, Belgin Sultan. And that comes with best wishes from Alperen. Thank you very much. Belgin Sultan, I hope you're feeling well. Get well soon, please. Best wishes to you from England. And get well soon. Talking to yourself can be useful if you are repeating things. So maybe you can read something. Maybe you can listen to something and repeat what is being said. And over time you will learn the way in which those sentences are created or formed. As I always say, the more you do it, the more you enjoy it. The more you enjoy it, the more you will learn. The more you learn, the more you enjoy it. And the more you enjoy it, the more you want to do it. And the more you want to do it, the more you learn. It's like a great big circle. The circle of learning, as I call it. Mr. Duncan, why don't you teach grammar? I do teach grammar. I don't do it all the time, just like everyone here on YouTube. So there are many English teachers that do grammar sometimes, but there are very few that do it all the time. What is the difference between Manjunath Kumar says, what is the difference between Indian English and England English? Well, I think really you're talking about the accent. It's actually the accent. So the words, most of the words and grammar are the same. The accent is different. But then that happens here in the UK. Even here in the UK, you will hear many different accents. Scottish, Welsh accent, Southern England, Western England, East England, the South East, the Southwest. There are many different ways of speaking English when we talk about accents. So the difference between Indian English and British English is basically the accent. The sound that you are producing when you speak English. Hello to... Oh, hello to... Oh, I see. Many people say that they don't learn English because probably they will never use it. I think it's better to speak English than not to do it. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I know I'm repeating myself today a little bit, for which I apologise, but it is amazing if you get to a good level of English. It is amazing how many doors will open for you. Suddenly, you can explore the world. You can find a job where speaking English is required. Suddenly, there are things that you couldn't do before because of English. So I'm not here. I'm often accused of somehow pushing the way of life of people in England onto other people. And that's not what I do. I've never done that. What I believe in, and that's why I love the English language, and certainly teaching English, and certainly seeing other people learn English, is how it can change your life. That is it. It's as simple as that. And I've seen it for myself. I have taught people who now live and work in very different places, very different to where they started. And it's all because of English. It is all because of English. Mary Roma says, I want English in my subconscious. It can happen. It can happen. In fact, it does. It does. After a certain period of time, you will find that the English will start to stay in your brain. Sometimes you might find, as you dream, as you sleep, you might dream about speaking English. You might even be speaking English in your dreams. So it can happen. It can happen. Arca, what is the difference between petrified and shocked? Shock is a reaction to something. A reaction to something you weren't expecting. If you are petrified, then you are scared or afraid. So they do have different meanings. Shock. Petrified. Ooh. You hear some bad news suddenly. You are shocked. Something that is going to happen that makes you feel afraid will make you petrified. So they are different. They are different. Hello, Alperen again. My loyal dad, whose name is Ali Mutlu, is looking after my mum. He loves you so much as a friend. My dad's also looking forward to your greeting. Ali Mutlu. Hello, Ali Mutlu. Hello to all of your family, in fact. Thank you very much. Hello to Thailand. Can I say hello to Thailand? I do have quite a few viewers watching in Thailand, so I want to say hello right now. And also hello to Frank. Hello, Frank, watching in Thailand. I wonder where you are in Thailand. Can you please suggest a good English biopic book? A biopic book. Well, when we talk about biopics, we are talking about stories of people's lives. Think of any famous people, maybe also in your country. Think of someone famous. Think of a person who you admire. So I like reading stories about people I admire or people I'm interested in. Sometimes they are film stars. Sometimes they are politicians. Sometimes they are philosophers talking about maybe a certain social issue. So I always say read something that you have an interest in. If you are interested in a certain type of person, maybe you are a big fan of movies or music. I always try to study things that I have some interest in. Something that draws my attention. For example, I like astronomy. I'm very interested in what goes on up there in space. Oh, by the way, can I say a big congratulations? This morning, did you see the space rocket go off to Mars? Yes. It launched, I think it was early this morning, was it? Early this morning or last night? From Japan, and it's going all the way to Mars. Hello, English with Akshat. Nice to see you as well. Hello also. I can't stand my voice, says Valentina. I couldn't record it, then listen to it. Valentina, can I just say you might be surprised how much you do enjoy it. It's fun. It's actually very interesting and exciting to listen to your voice. But do it often. Do it maybe once or twice a week. So as you are learning English, as you are reading, as you are listening, as you are learning new words, also listen to your voice as well. Get used to the sound of your voice. So don't worry. It is a very good way of building your confidence, to be honest. Tai Hyun Yang or Jang. I am profoundly interested in cooking, so I have watched a vast number of Jamie Oliver and Gordon Ramsay's cooking videos, and it has helped me enormously. Thank you, Tai Hyun. That is great. Learn English through something you enjoy. Learn English through something that you have an interest in. So if your interest is science, learn English, but also you can listen to English being used whilst watching a documentary or maybe a book about science. Listen to someone talking about science. Maybe you have an interest in music. You love music, modern music, maybe music from many years ago. Would you mind telling me your age? Why are people so fascinated by my age? I wonder. What do you think about using contractions? Ivan, what do you think about using contractions? I will be honest with you. In everyday English, people often use contractions. I don't like that. I wouldn't go there. So you can use contractions in everyday life. In fact, you will find that many people do use contractions when they're speaking. However, if you are writing something formal, if you are writing something formally, it is always best not to use contractions because it looks lazy. So maybe if you are writing to a company, you are asking if they have any job vacancies or any opportunities. Don't use contractions in your letter or your email. Try to avoid using contractions. Don't shorten the words if you are writing formally. Mr. Duncan, why don't you teach grammar and British accent? Easy to learn. Well, I am teaching English, and English covers many things. So because I'm doing it on camera, and because people have a very short attention span as well. I'm being very honest with you, very blunt, I know, but it is hard to keep people watching for a long time because nowadays people like to click around the internet. It is very hard to keep people watching. So the moment I start talking about grammar, people normally click away. They go somewhere else. I remember from my own experience, I used to teach some adult classes. And I remember one week I decided to teach some very deep grammar. Very deep grammar. I was talking about the construction of sentences. And they said afterwards, Mr. Duncan, please don't be offended, but that was the most boring lesson we've ever sat through, ever. Needless to say, I never did it again. So you can learn without having to have your face buried in the book all the time. But also one of the problems with doing this is people's attention can go from one place to another. People don't like to watch things for more than a few seconds. In fact, there might be people now watching this and they've only just clicked on this. It's you, isn't it? You've just clicked on this. You've clicked to see what this is because you're interested to find out. And then you will watch me for about a minute or maybe 2 minutes. And then you'll go, oh, I want to look at something else now. I want to look at, maybe I can find a puppy dog. I want to watch a video with a puppy dog. Or maybe I want to watch something funny. Or maybe something serious. You see? So it's very hard to keep your audience. So sometimes doing things like English grammar, if I stood in front of a whiteboard and I started talking about grammar, I think everyone would go very quickly. How many... I enjoy what you are doing. Thank you. How many English there are in the world? I like American, for example. When you say how many English in the world, do you mean English people? Or do you mean English words? English words, there are many. Some people say that there are too many English words to learn all of them, and I think that's true. That's true. There are many English words that I don't know. Because there are so many. There are so many English words. I remember years ago I discovered your videos, and from that moment I learned that the better way to learn is by watching your not boring videos. Thank you very much. I think one of the things that has happened on YouTube over the years is more and more people are now doing the same thing. They are all teaching English. So we have thousands and thousands of people now teaching English on YouTube. So you can just click around the internet. You don't have to stay in one place at the same time for a long time. You can go click around. Have you ever been to India? Have I been? No, I've never been to India. Never been there. I have a friend who goes quite often. He goes to India, but no, I've never been there. Oh, we are starting to get personal questions now. Personal questions. Mr. Duncan, do you earn any money from YouTube for doing this? Not much. I do earn a little bit. A little bit. You see? A little money. Things on YouTube have changed over the years. Way back in 2007 and 2008, when very few people were using YouTube, and when there were almost no English teachers, I was actually the first English teacher ever on YouTube. It's true. I started teaching English in 2006, nearly 14 years ago. But since then, things have changed. A lot of people think if you are successful on YouTube, you must be a millionaire. Can I just say two things? First of all, I'm not successful on YouTube. And the second thing is, I'm definitely not a millionaire. So for those who think that I am, I'm not. I can promise you, I can put my hand on my heart, and my other hand I can put on my pancreas, and I can say that I am definitely not a millionaire. Definitely not. I'm £1 million short of being a millionaire. So all I need to be a millionaire is £1 million. But I'm just a little bit short of £1 million. You see? So to answer your question, no, I don't earn a lot of money. There is some money. It is a very small share. A very small share. And it is not much, which is why I have to rely on donations as well, because I put all of my time, all of my effort into doing this. I'm standing here now in the garden doing this for free. It's costing you nothing. However, it is costing me my time, and I'm doing it for free. So I hope you understand that I'm not wealthy. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a yacht. It looks like I might be a millionaire, but I'm not. Definitely not. Just because I'm standing here with some green grass behind me doesn't mean I'm rich. It doesn't. Trust me. Okay. Whew. How many times have I explained that? Mr. Duncan, do you think that listening to English while sleeping can help? Thank you, Mary. I really don't want to upset people. Ooh. I don't think that listening to English while sleeping can help you. However, listening to English whilst you are awake and conscious can help you. If you are resting, and this is the difference, I want to make sure that you understand what I'm saying. If you are resting on the bed or in a relaxed situation, you can listen to English, and it can help you. You can become more familiar with the construct of sentences and the way in which people use certain words, the intonation. So the way in which words are used when a person is speaking. However, if you are unconscious, that means your brain has shut down, because when you sleep, your brain actually shuts down. It's like turning off your computer or putting your computer into sleep mode. So I know it's a horrible thing to say, but when you sleep, all of your functions in your brain literally shut down. So my answer is no. I don't think it's effective to listen to English whilst sleeping. English whilst resting. English whilst doing something that is calming your mind or your body at that moment. If you have English, maybe a recording, or maybe you are watching one of my videos like this. Yes. Whew. So I hope that answered the question. So I don't think so. I think you have to be conscious. You have to be awake. Your brain has to be working for things to go into it. Ivan says, I wish you have a radio channel. Well, this is a little bit like a radio channel, except you can see me as well. Hello. What did you do for a living before 2006? Well, I was still teaching English. I was living abroad, teaching English. So before I started my YouTube channel, I was already teaching English. Anyway. Oh, can I say, this morning I had a very delicious breakfast this morning. I had 2 crumpets with a little bit of cheese on top. And the cheese was melted. I couldn't resist. So that was my breakfast this morning. I had 2 lovely crumpets with some cheese on top, and then I heated the cheese so it melted. Oh, so delicious. Melted cheese. I don't know why. Why is melted cheese so nice? Does anyone know? I don't know why. Pizza, you see, that's why I love pizza so much, because the cheese melts on the top. I don't know why, but I love cheese, but I really do like melted cheese very much. Ivan says, I'm hungry. You are welcome. What is the difference between I go to school and I do go to school? They are basically the same thing. You are expressing the same thing. One of the things that you learn about English is there are many ways of saying one thing. There are many ways of expressing one thing, one action, one moment of time. You are using words to describe that thing. However, there are many ways of saying it. However, those words all mean the same thing. You are expressing the same thing. You might go up the tree. You might climb the tree. You might scramble up the tree. You see? So you are using different words, but all of those words are expressing the same action. Oh. You know I love food. You do know that. Raysa says, Mr. Duncan, I have been addicted to ladyfingers since I saw them in your jelly recipe. Thank you, Raysa. I have lots of ladyfingers in my kitchen. I also like eating them on their own. So sometimes I will take the ladyfingers out of the packet and I will just eat them on their own. But I do agree, they taste very nice in jelly. If you make some jelly and then put ladyfingers into the jelly before it sets, so nice, very nice. Don't you feel pain in your legs standing for hours? Asks Shard. No, I don't. I love standing up. If I had a choice between standing and sitting, I would always choose standing. I love standing up. You see, I'm standing now in the garden. Yeah, like this, you see. So no, it's all right. I don't mind standing up. Ladyfingers. What are ladyfingers? Ladyfingers are a type of food, and they look like fingers. You see, they look like fingers, but they are made of soft sponge, and they have sugar on top of them, and they are absolutely delicious. They really are. Nice. Hello to... Oh, can you speak French, Mr. Duncan? When I was at school, I used to be very good at French. I was very good. The teacher said, your French is very good. Very good. I don't know why. Oh, pizza. Yes, Valentina is addicted to pizza. I wish I could eat pizza every day. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard the news? Apparently, pizza is bad for you. If you eat too much pizza, it's not good for you. But I love pizza. I do. I'm crazy about pizza. I am going in a moment. I will be going soon. I've been with you now for 1 hour and... Oh, sorry. Yes, nearly 2 hours I've been here, standing talking to you. Nearly 2 hours? Mr. Duncan, I can't believe it. Abdul, can you give us a little bit of detail on what you know about the cap? The cap you are wearing. The hat. This hat. I bought this hat from... Where did I buy it from? I bought this hat from Banbury. And there was a big shop in Banbury. And they were having a sale. And everything was 50%. 50% off. Everything was half price in the shop. And so I saw these hats. So I got this hat from the shop. And it was very cheap. So in fact, I bought two. I got this one, and I also bought a white one. So the white one is the one that I wear in the studio and sometimes outside. So I have a white hat, which looks the same as this. However, it is white. And I have the red one, which is this one. So I bought this hat and also the white hat about, when was it? I think it was maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago. When was the last World Cup? It was when England was playing in the World Cup. So the last time, I think it was 2 years ago. I'm sure it was 2018. So I've had these for about 2 years, but I bought them in a sale. Everything in the shop. I went into the shop and everything was half price. So I got 2 of these hats for the price of 1. As you can probably imagine, I was very pleased about that. Very pleased. You always wear the hat, says... Oh, to Jenny. Hello, to Jenny. Yes, I often wear a hat. It is something I've done for many years. Something that many people know. When they see me, they say, oh, there's Mr. Duncan. He's wearing his hat. Huh? So there you go. I hope that answers your question. Your hat looks new. Well, these hats look new because I take care of them. I wash them, you see. Sometimes I will wash them in water and then hang them up to dry. So I do wash these hats sometimes. Very. Nazu Chan. Hello, Nazu. Nice to see you here. This channel is so comfortable. It is. Isn't it nice to see something on YouTube that isn't a person screaming and shouting about politics or someone getting really angry about something? Isn't it lovely? You can just turn on your computer and you can watch something that's gentle and nice. It makes a very nice change, even though I say so myself. Thank you so much, Malia. Hello, Malia. Thank you very much. I never get tired when you are talking You are with your sweet accent. Thank you. Ivan. Ivan says, wearing a hat all the time can cause your hair to fall out. Can I just say, that happened before I started wearing a hat. I still have hair, but not as much as I used to have, you see. So that's what happens when you get older. As you get older, sometimes things change. Sometimes your hair starts to disappear, and sometimes you start getting hair in very unusual places as you get older. Mr. Duncan, do you put your mask on outside? Yes, I do. I am a very good boy. At the weekend, I went shopping into town, into Much Wenlock. I went shopping, and I had my mask over my face, protecting me from all of those horrible germs and all of those horrible viruses. I was able to keep them away. So yes, I do. I do wear my mask, well, not here, of course, because I'm in the garden. There isn't anyone around, so I don't have to worry here. I don't have to worry here in the garden because the birds always keep their safe social distance, you see. So I've told them, I've told all of the animals here in my garden, you must keep away from us, you must stay a safe distance away. So even the birds and all of the other animals are social distancing. They are. I've told them they have to. Or else they can't come into my garden. Yeah. Thank you, Unicorina. Thank you for your company. It's very nice to see you here. Does that hat belong to Steve? No, this is my hat. This is my hat. Mr. Steve has his own hats. This is my hat. Ivan says, amazing garden. I love it. Thank you very much. Did you see the cows? The cows came by earlier. The cows came by to say hello. Isn't it lovely? Yes, the birds are very clever. They are very clever because they are keeping their safe social distance, because they can't wear face masks, you see. It's very hard for a bird to wear a face mask because they have no ears. They can't put the face mask on because they have no ears, you see. That's the reason why. It's all scientific. What's the I'm going in a moment. In a moment, I will be going soon, okay? So I will have to vanish. I will disappear from your screen in about 2 minutes. What is the main difference for you between virtual classes and the classroom classes? To be honest with you, for me, it's the same. So this is how when I worked in China, I used to teach like this. This is how I used to teach. I used to teach in a very vivid way. I used to always get my students involved in the lessons. I did. So that was something I've always done it. I've always done that. I've always done that thing. In fact, I became a victim of my own success in China because everyone wanted me to appear in their school. My school used to get phone calls from people saying, hello, you don't know me, but I'm a school very far away from where you are. We hear you have an Englishman. He's British. Can you hear the pigeon? And so lots of people wanted me to visit their schools and give lectures and talks. And so that's what I did. So quite often I used to go away and I had to visit all of these different schools around the area where I was working in China. It's very busy time. It was a very busy time. Hello. Can you hear the pigeon? The pigeon is saying hello. I'm going now. It is time to say goodbye. It is time to say adieu, adieu to you, and you, and you. I will see you tomorrow. Yes, I'm back tomorrow. 2 p.m. UK time. We are doing another strange extra English lesson tomorrow. What is your life behind the scenes? My life? I'm sure you don't want to know about my life. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. Say goodbye to the pigeons. Bye, pigeons. See you later. There he goes. Did you see the pigeon? He flew away. I think he's looking for a girlfriend. See you later. Take care, everyone. You were a VIP in China. Yes, actually I was. I actually was a VIP in China. I had my own driver. Can you believe it? I had a driver. It's very strange when I think about it now. But yes, I was on television in China. I used to go to lots of government meetings. I would sit with some of the most powerful people in the area where I was living. And we used to sit and have these meetings. Very strange. It was a very strange period of time. But now, of course, my life has become a little bit more relaxed. Because now I'm getting older, you see. I have to start taking it easy. That's what happens. That's what happens. Thank you very much for your company. I am going now. I've been here for 2 hours. I can't believe it. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. We appreciate your effort. Thank you, everyone, for your lovely company today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I am going now. I'm going into the house. I will have a cup of tea. I will make a cup of tea for his lordship up there in the office. And then I will see you tomorrow. I'm back with you tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time. Will I be in the garden or will I be somewhere else? Tune in tomorrow and find out. You are so histrionic, Mr. Duncan. What did you study at college? I always like to be interested in many things. So as I've gone through life, I've realised that I never know enough about things. There's always something interesting that you can learn and find out as you go through life. Even at this point, many, many, many years after I finished my formal education, I'm still here learning things. You never stop learning. And that probably is the best piece of advice I can give anyone in this world. Never stop learning, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Keep your eyes open, your ears open. Keep your mind active. Always learn new things, because there is always something new to learn. Thank you very much. I'm definitely going. I will go over there, you see. I'm going to go over there into the house to have a cup of tea. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much for all of your company. Don't forget, I'm here tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time. This is Mr. Duncan for the final time saying thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me today. Have a super day. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Whatever you are doing, do it with a smile on your face and a spring in your step. And I will see you tomorrow. And of course, until the next time we meet here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Until tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time. I'm going now. I'm sorry. Don't shout at me. Don't shout at me. Ta-ta for now.